Welcome to the Brian Buffini Show, where we explore the mindsets, motivation, and methodologies of success. My name is David Lally. I'm the producer of the show, and I know we may be in challenging times, but that's just why we've been working on shows to keep us upbeat and focused on the good stuff. Let's listen in.
Well, the top of the morning to you, and welcome to the Brian Buffini Show. Today's episode is entitled How to Be 5-Circle Fit. And you're going to be hearing about a very exciting new program we're launching at Buffini Company that you can participate in absolutely free and get you going and get you in a great spot mentally, emotionally, physically. And then there's some business components for those of you who are in the real estate business or a small business owner, where you can participate in one of our training programs. If you're one of our one-to-one coaching members, you can participate in that for free. And everybody else, we're going to slash the price for about 60 days here and give you a chance to participate in this stuff. But this 5-Circle Fit program, everybody's going to be able to participate in right away, absolutely free. So just like you, we just completed our 5th week of the stay-at-home order here in the great state of California. And not sure how many more weeks we have to go, just like many of you. We know that some states are opening up in different ways, in different parts of the country, different parts of Canada will be the same thing. And it's going to be a slow go to start with. It's going to be like walking out after a storm and picking up the pieces. And we have to learn how to be around people again. And what does social distancing look like in the future? And all of those types of things. So it's really a dynamic where there's so much that we can't control, but we are really going to focus on what we can control. And what we can do is help you get focused on being 5-Circle Fit. As many of you know, we do these podcasts every Tuesday. We've been doing bonus programs, especially for our real estate community, on Thursdays. Tuesday is focused on mindsets, motivation, and methodologies of success. Thursday is really, whether we like it or not, we've almost launched a real estate show now on Thursday so that we could be industry specific and bring our real estate audience up to speed with the latest and greatest going on in real estate, specifically regarding this pandemic. So that's what's happened. So Tuesday, if you're a regular Tuesday listener and you're not in the real estate business, just stay tuned on the Tuesdays and download your episodes there. The Thursday ones are really more real estate focused. Friday, some of you may be aware of, many may not. I've been doing Facebook Lives from my home, and I've done one with Beverly, and I just kind of do a little update, State of the Union, every Friday. Over 100,000 people tune into these every Friday. So if you want to join me in that, especially with this 5-Circle Fit, I'm really going to be addressing it week by week. We have a program that we've built out that I think you're really going to like. So every week I release the coming week's activities to be 5-Circle Fit on Facebook Live. So just go to Facebook and research Brian Buffini on Facebook. And then every Friday at 10 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time, I do a live Facebook, and we also take your questions. We've gotten great feedback. People seem to really like them. We get thousands of comments. People seem to really enjoy all of that. So there it is. Tuesdays, our regular podcast. Thursday, industry specific. And Friday is where we get into the Facebook Live. Now, for those of you who are newer to Buffini Company, we've picked up an awful lot of listeners here in the last 5 weeks. We talk about 5 circles a lot at Buffini Company. It's not just the logo of our company. If you go to buffiniandcompany.com, you'll see our programs are there and our logo is there. And we have these 5 circles. And so 5 circles represent our spiritual lives, our family and relationships, our business and career, finances, and then also personal. And personal is broken into physical well-being, mental and emotional well-being. So we put our personal well-being all in that personal circle. And we've been teaching like this for years. We've been coaching people like this for years. Our coaches really focus on people's business first and then help them get their finances in order. And those are the 2 circles we predominantly help people with. Now, people who've been to our events or been to our programs know we encourage people to set goals in all 5 circles. And the coach will often hold someone accountable to the goals they've set in those areas, but we really don't coach on your spiritual life or your family life. We're not therapists and those kinds of things. We're not physical trainers, but we'll hold people accountable to goals they've set in those areas, and it's worked very well. Business and finance, it's really our specialty in bailiwick. But we've been at this a long time and we've helped an awful lot of people out, and we're going to do that right now. And so we put together this program to really get you in the game. You know, there's so much going on, and at the same time, there's nothing going on. There's so much going on in the news, but there's nothing going on in the sports channel. There's so much going on with the press conferences and all the different reactions to those, but there's not very much going on in regards to new programming. So people are kind of held hostage. And what I'm seeing is more and more people are becoming more and more prey to what's going on through the news cycle. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out. I mean, these people make money based on how many people watch. So sometimes we're getting into very engaged stories. There's a lot of outrage and there's a lot of sensationalization. And so guess what? If you go left and you go right, I talked to a person the other day, and there was an expert on who said we're going to have to shut the country down for 18 months. And this person has big credibility and was involved in the government in the past. And they were just like, this is it. It's done. It's over. It's done. And so now they were taken on a ride of something that was really expanded upon in a news story that may or may not be factual. Now, most people would say it's not factual, but this person was making business decisions and life decisions based on the latest wind that blew. And so that's why we have to be very, very careful that we're not just blown around by the scriptures talk about every wind of doctrine. So the wind blows and the sail moves, and the wind blows and the sail moves. So what we're going to focus on is what you can do and what you can control. And what you can control right now is you can be 5-circle fit. You can be 5-circle fit. And so we're laying down, starting April 27th, we are starting the 5-circle fit challenge. And so I've got 3 major points for you today, the way I always do. And it starts with, the first point is the rolling start. The second point is why everybody needs a pit crew. And the third point is how to get it started. Okay. So I want to talk to you about the rolling start. And I love this concept. I actually was talking to a coach. He's a volleyball coach at University of San Diego. And I was saying, what are you doing with your team? He said, well, we're kind of concerned because if we just hit the ground running, so we're concerned about injury. We're concerned about where the girls are mentally. And at some point in time, we're going to have to get back to compete to try to win a national championship. We can't do this from a dead start. We're going to do a rolling start. And we had this neat conversation, and being a little OCD like I am, I dove into all things NASCAR. And so the man who gave me this idea, his name is Jimmy Lundgren. So kudos to Coach Jimmy Lundgren. And we're helping tens of thousands of people out in the marketplace with this very concept. So here's what I want you to think about. What's happening to the economy, what's happening to our world. It's not a normal recession. It's not a normal even depression for people to call that. Those things are factors that go on for years and years and years. And it builds to a point, and then there's a series of events that lead to a major change. That is not what really happened here. The economies of the world were doing well. I mean, Europe might have been down a bit, but like the American economy was just killing it. Canada was killing it. We had 50 some days ago, just record-setting numbers in regards to employment, in regards to sales and housing and other things. So we were just riding the crest of a wave. And all of a sudden, this thing has been like a car wreck, and everything has stopped all at once. Well, that's the purpose of the rolling start. So picture a NASCAR race. If you're in Europe, you can picture Formula One. But in NASCAR, big business here, especially in the South, you see these races every Saturday and hundreds of thousands of people in live attendance. And these guys and gals are driving along at 200 miles an hour, sometimes inches from a wall. They're in the race, just like we're in the race, like the rat race. And then what happens is something goes wrong, somebody makes a mistake, and bang, there's a pileup. Well, that's what's happened here. We don't know what type of mistake was made here, but we know mistakes were made for this pandemic to reach the crisis that it has. And so all of a sudden, the entire economy, everything we know, has come to a crashing halt, just like a car wreck. And so the first part is you have to stop the race. Well, we've stopped the race. The next thing, you have to pick up the pieces. That's going on right now. Bailout programs and restoration programs. And next thing, they're going to be coming up with the rollout programs of when they're going to open up different markets and states and so on and so forth. Now, what's very important in NASCAR is they found in the past that after a wreck, if everybody got in their car and they put down the flag and everybody started again, a number of things happened. Number one, the cars weren't ready. And number two, the drivers weren't ready. And so when they turned on the engines and they hit the gas, the tires burned off the wheels, engines often blew up, And the drivers made even more mistakes because they weren't quite yet up to speed. They'd been used to being in the pit, waiting for a period of time or standing around. And now all of a sudden the race starts up and they try to hit the gas. And there was more wrecks, engines blown. And that's what's going to happen for a lot of people here coming out of this forced stop of the economy. So we don't want that to happen for anybody. So we're going to help everybody do what's called a rolling start. And this is what they found in NASCAR, got people up to speed quicker, got them into place to win, and was the safest way possible to re-enter the race. And that's what we want for everybody. So the way it works is this. There's a pace car comes out. All the cars stay in place. A pace car comes in front of all the cars and then just gently and gradually increases the pace. All the cars start their engines. They move slowly behind the pace car. And if you've ever watched this or look it up on YouTube, you'll see the drivers turning the cars kind of left and right. They're trying to warm up the tires. They're getting their engine revved up little bit by little bit, more and more. They're getting the feel of the race car themselves. They're getting used to the track again. They're getting their mind's eye tuned into the speed of the race. And so gradually the pace car increases pace. The cars increase pace. Everybody now is starting to go. Everybody's starting to do better. Everybody's starting to feel it. And now what happens is the pace car pulls away. The race cars behind speed up. The pace car pulls off the road. A green flag goes down. And now you're racing. And the cars are racing at full speed. They're safe. The cars are able to handle it. And the drivers are able to handle it. And that's what we want for all of you. And whether you realize it or not, you have not been operating at your peak state. There's a lot of fear, a lot of apprehension. There's a lot of snacking going on. So a couple of weeks ago, I've been working out. I have a gym at the house, thank God. And I've been working out and doing my exercises and whatever else. So Beverly works out with a trainer named Rico. And she says, why don't you do a FaceTime workout with Rico? I said, well, I'm doing okay. I'm fine. So the first week, like most stubborn husbands, I did it myself. And then she said it again. Now, I know my wife very well. When she says something a couple times, it means I need to listen. So I started working out and I did a couple of workouts with Rico. And what did I notice right away? Oh, my goodness. Apparently, when I'm working out by myself in an unaccountable fashion, I'm able to fool myself into thinking how hard I'm working. And so just working with the trainer, in our case, at Buffini Company, working with a coach, it just takes the accountability up. It takes the know-how up. And the format is so much different. I was out of gas in no time at all. And so just like in NASCAR, doing it by myself without the pit crew, it really isn't a good idea. So I don't think it's a good idea for you either. And I also want to challenge you. There's a good chance you think you're operating at a higher pace than you are. What I'm noticing is, like, I've had to go outside my home a couple times to the grocery store. Once I had to go to the office. People are driving funky. People are like just not dialed in. And what's happened is they're back in the race themselves a little bit, but they're not really ready to race. So we want to make sure that we have a rolling start, that when the green flag goes down, the market opens back up, we're cooking on all cylinders, we're at full speed and able to take advantage of the opportunities that are out there. And so we're going to walk through this with you, and I'm going to walk you through this 5-circle fit program. So what you need to do, if you're new to us, go to buffiniandcompany.com, Buffini and company.com /BC bonus, BC bonus, Buffini and Company bonus, BC bonus. And what you'll see there is the 5-circle fit challenge. And there's a bunch of resources and tools, and you can do this absolutely free. I will tell you there's one component of this for business professionals that is a paid feature to it, but that's because we're bringing our training program back to life in this format. So I'll talk to you about that in a second. So go to buffiniandcompany.com /BC bonus and download the 5-circle fit challenge. And what you'll see is week by week on Facebook Live and then on that website, we're going to release what to do for that week to have the rolling start. So spiritual, it might be, hey, read this passage like Psalm 23, or download Headspace app, or download the prayer app, or serve in a certain capacity. In this regard, maybe donate to a food bank, for example. Then family, there will be a call one personal relationship a day you haven't stayed in close contact with. Now, here's what's great. If you want to do 7 in one day, go knock yourself out. Either way, you got it done. In the business element, we're going to have people take our business training, and I'm going to talk about that so people are really ready doing the activities in the business training to really hit the ground running. Financial, we had Chris Hogan on here on our podcast last week. Financial will be, okay, it's time to update your budget. Your budget's changed right now. I don't know about you. I've canceled a bunch of trips I just saw an article that said 47% of all the sporting events in 2020 have been canceled. I had tickets to go to the British Open and Wimbledon. I had 5 events. I was supposed to be in Argentina the day the shutdown happened. I have, all kinds of trips planned, vacation planned. We were going to go to Hawaii for a month. That's all off. My business has changed and my finances have changed. And so you need to update your budget on what you're spending money on right now. Okay. And then personal. So then I've had my man Rico do for all of you what he does for me. And that is, we recorded him while practicing safe social distancing. We recorded him in our family gym, and he did 4 sets of different types of exercises. He does it in a beautiful way. It's like, here's the beginner level, here's an intermediary level, and then here's an advanced level. And he walks you through a nice little warm up, a nice little set of exercises, get the heart rate up, get the body moving. Why? We want to get that engine going and we want to get those tires going. And then we'll also be encouraging you to either walk a mile a day or jog a mile a day, or if you want to bike, you can bike 5 miles a day. So that's an example of the first week of the 5 Circle Fitness Challenge. Now, we're only going to release it 1 week at a time because as the market changes, as the world changes here, I have a program built out for 90 days. We'll see if we need it that long. We might need all of it. We might need more of it. We don't know. So here's what I'm going to say to you. Let's do a rolling start 1 week at a time. The only thing you can control is yourself, is your attitude, your energy, and your activities. That's all you can control. I don't control the weather, I don't control the government, and I certainly don't control the virus. And so what can you control? You can be 5 Circle Fit no matter what the government does, no matter what the press conferences say, whatever press person decides to distort, it doesn't matter. You're in total control of your own life here. And so we're going to do that. Now, I mentioned to you about the training component. We built a training program called the Pathway to Mastery, the Essentials course. It's a $2 million training program. We just launched it early last year. We had 16,000 people take this training. Phenomenal video-based training of yours truly, specifically designed to help people generate referrals and get the fundamentals going in their business. And so what we've done for the first time ever, never done this in our 25-year history, we made it available free to our coaching members. And we took the price of what we normally charge, $400 for this thing, and made it $195 for anyone else who wants to take it. The team also programmed it. It used to have to be, you had to take this to a trainer, and it was an 8-week course, and you went to a location for 8 weeks. The team has redesigned it so you can take it at home, and you can binge watch this sucker if you want, like as if you're watching Netflix. Now, there's a series of activities each week, so you won't be binge doing the activities. There's too much there. So we're going to break it out over an elongated period of time. So if that's something you might be interested in, you go to buffinicompany.com, and then you click on one of the buttons that says Talk to an Expert, and we'll hook you up and get you going with all of that. So BC Bonus is where the program is. If you want to get into the training program with thousands of people simultaneously, you can click on Talk to an Expert. And there's also ways that we're helping people get connected and stay connected in a sense of community. So it's a fantastic program, and I can't imagine a better thing to be doing. I mean, right now is the time to be working. Right now is the time to be getting your business up to speed. Right now is the time to be really doing work. And like I said, mentally, emotionally, physically, business, we're all like I was working out from home. And now it's time to engage in something that has a coach to it, that raises the bar. And I think some of you are going to find out, man, I was pretty checked out. You're going to find out maybe it's hard to concentrate. You're going to find out you have less mental stamina than you did. It's okay. These are the warm-up laps. We got the pace car out in front. Now this is going to set the pace, and then you can get the engine moving and get your body moving, get your mind moving, all of that stuff. All 5 circles will get you going, and we'll have a rolling start. And when that green flag goes down, I promise you, you're going to be, as they say down south, cooking with peanut oil. You're going to be able to hit the ground running. So the first thing is we talk about the rolling start. The second thing we want to talk about is the pit crew. You know, everybody needs a pit crew. Like I said, I didn't know much about NASCAR. I met Jeff Gordon years ago, and Jimmy Johnson is from San Diego, so I've gotten to see him. But I really was not a NASCAR fan, and not that I didn't like it. I just didn't really pay much attention to it, didn't grow up with it. So I've been really getting into NASCAR. So here is the pit crew, okay? And this is why we all need a pit crew. You have a jack man, you have the tire changers, you have a gas man, and they're always called men, but even though there's women. You need a support crew. You need what's called a utility man. You need a crew chief. You need a car chief. and you need an engineer. So that's what it takes to get a car going 200 miles an hour around the track. And by the way, let me just tell you, I know a lot of you listen to this program, you're into self-help. I want to point something out. The number one thing we have to do with self-help is get self out of it. You know, if you listen to the podcast or you read the books, you've already decided that you need answers outside of yourself. And we all do. And we all need help. And it's kind of interesting right now. They've introduced this term that they probably regret called social distancing. And what we're finding out is, yeah, I can be by myself and yeah, I can do this and that. But the world is not as fun or as effective a place when we're just by ourselves. And some people have families that they're struggling with at home. Some people are home by themselves. We all need to connect. And so let me walk you through it. The jackman. The jackman, according to NASCAR, is the first person to touch the vehicle. It's the jackman's responsibility to put the jack underneath the car, lift up the car, and then allow everyone to change the tire during a pit stop. So in this analogy, I'm the jackman. I'm here to get you jacked up, man. And I try to jack you up and get you fired up with podcasts, with Facebook Live. I do it through our events, and I do it through our training programs. And obviously right now, we won't be able to do many live events for a while, but we're absolutely able to do these podcasts. We're able to do these Facebook Lives, and we'll get you jacked up taking our training program. So you have a jackman, the front and rear tire changers, and then there's front and rear tire carriers. Okay. So you need someone who's going to change the tires, and you have to have people who carry the tires. So they bring the tires to the car and they take the old ones away. Well, the tire carriers is your diet. By the way, they often carry your spare tire, if you know what I mean. So what you're eating right now, one of the things we're going to challenge you to do in the 5-Circle Fit Challenge is, what's one thing I'm going to stop eating and what's one thing I'm going to start eating? And it could be I'm going to stop a certain type of snack or cookie or ice cream or something that's got a lot of carbohydrates perhaps. I'm going to start drinking more water. Maybe I want to drink 80 ounces of water a day. So I'm going to stop something and start something because they're carriers. And so if you stop the bad stuff going in and just take one habit you've delved into, maybe you're having 3 snacks a day, maybe you get it down to 2. So you need to stop one thing and start another. And instead of carrying more weight, you'll be carrying away more weight. And then we have the tire changers. Well, what ultimately changes the tires, especially the fat tires, the spare tires, is physical fitness. And so we have that in the program for you. Rico's reps are going to help you change your tires, okay? But what will help you carry the tires is the diet. So you have me, that's the jackman. We got Rico's reps, that's the physical fitness. What you're going to eat and what you're going to stop is the diet. And then you need the gas man. And the gas man is the person holding the tanks, the 12-gallon tanks that weigh 80 pounds each. And they have an injection system so they can, on the spot, real fast, fill up a car. Well, that's what the 5-Circle Fit Challenge is. It's to put gas in your tank, man. And so we have a gas man. Seeing progress every week. Seeing movement every week. It doesn't matter how long this thing lasts. Some of you are going to be going, man, I wish this thing lasted longer now. I've lost 12 pounds and I'm doing this and I'm writing better and I'm contacting more people. So we want to use this. You need a jackman. You need the tire changers. You need the tire carriers. You need the gas man. That's the actual 5-Circle Fit. You need support crew. And that can be the people that you work with. It could be an assistant. It could be, if you're in a real estate business, it's the escrow company and the title company. Who are the vendors that you work with that help you get your job accomplished? Then you need a utility person. And these are ultimately the folks that can help you in your world. Who else helps you? Who else needs you? Who else do you work with? All the different people you do business with. You need a crew chief. And the crew chief, this is a very important role. That's someone who sits with the headphones on. They're sitting up on a high chair and they're looking at the crew and they're looking at the race. And that's what a coach does. And that's why people who are getting coached by Buffini Company right now are in very good shape, because they have someone who's able to sit up above the circumstance. They're looking at the whole track. They've got the headphones on and they've got the spotter for you. So they're watching you on the track and they're watching you on the track in the race. And that's the job the coaches do. You need a car chief. The car chief is the person that makes sure that everything's up to snuff with the car. And that's what the training program does. We want to make sure everything's up to snuff with your business. So then you need, lastly, the engineer. And the engineer is the person who obviously designs the car and makes the car go. What the engineer represents here is the system. And that's why if you're a business person, particularly in a small business, you need to have a training system. And that's what the Pathway to Mastery is. So it's a great opportunity for you, to get in the game. So Again, I want to make it real clear. I know I'm going 100 miles an hour, but I'm pretty fired up myself. I'm already doing these workouts. I'm already doing these activities. I've already stopped eating a certain type of snack. I've already increased positively what I'm digesting on the other side. I'm down 4 or 5 pounds since I started this program about 7 days ago. I wanted to go first and see the benefits of it. It's changing my mindset. It's changing my energy. I'm already into this because I'm the pace car. I'm just a little bit ahead of you. Okay. I plan to get out of your way at some point in time and have you roar past me. Okay. So we've talked a little bit here today. We talked about the rolling start as opposed to the dead start. Okay. We talked about your pit crew and why we all need a bit of a pit crew. And then it's time to get started ourselves. Okay. It's just time to get started. And getting started starts with a decision. Decide. CIDE. Look up all the words that have the word side in it. What they're very, very black and white moments. And so it's time to decide. Are you going to be a victim of what the market says, of what the media says? Are you going to have your emotions pulled around by whatever reporter decides to overstate or hyperbole or downright make something up? And the next thing you know, you're all jacked up, and it's not until 10 days later you found out it wasn't true. But in the meantime, your emotions have gone on a roller coaster ride. Or are you going to take action and decide? I'm going to get 5 Circle Fit. I'm going to do things that I've been determined to do for a long time. I'm going to read that book. I'm going to do those weights. I'm going to do this exercise. I'm going to lose that weight. I'm going to take that training. I'm going to contact my customers. I'm going to do the activities. That's what I'm challenging you to do. So I have different starting points in the race. For our one-to-one members, contact your coach, or you can also go on the live chat format on the website. Everybody else, go to buffinicompany.com/BC bonus. And the program's laid out for you. We're going to invest the money and the time we already have. You can take this program for free, knock yourself out. But if you want to do the training, you need to click on Talk to an Expert and enroll in the Pathway to Mastery. If people are not going to get involved in training at this stage, I'd say they probably never will. You have the time, you have the need, you prepare in peacetime so you don't bleed in war. Okay? So time to get the ball rolling. And so to start with, then, what you want to do is this is a prep week. So this coming Friday, so this podcast is being released on Tuesday. This coming Friday, I'm going to put the green flag down. I'm going to be dressed up in my NASCAR hat and shorts, and join me on Brian Buffini on Facebook. And we're going to do 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time or Daylight Time. We're going to get the ball rolling. We're going to release the first week. You can download the first week of the 5 Circle Fit Challenge, and it'll tell you exactly what to do that week, and a little checkbox that you can fill out. Rico's reps videos will be there, so you can download those, and off to the race we're going, right? We're warming up the engine, all right? And so this is prep week. We will be asking you to read a little book. It's called Acres of Diamonds by Russell Conwell. It's the original book of personal growth and development. And at this time, it really shows you how right underneath your feet, right now, everything that's inside you need to be successful. And that's what Acres of Diamonds is all about. A very small little book. You can get through it in an hour, and you can absolutely buy a copy online. You can download it for free, actually. It's been around so long. So I think it was written 1870 or something like that. So Acres of Diamonds, Russell Conwell. Download that. Go to the website. Get ready for that Friday. And then in the meantime, I would encourage you to walk a mile a day, or jog a mile a day, or ride 5 miles a day. And what I've done to add to that, and again, this is a little more expensive, is I bought an Apple Watch. Okay. And the Apple Watch, by the way, cost a hell of a lot more than my training program did. But one of the things in this Apple Watch is that it shows me standing and movement and then exercise. And there's 3 circles. And I've just made a commitment that I want all 3 circles to be filled every day. That's kind of my commitment through the 5 Circle Fitness Challenge. So there's circles beautifully in line with our program. There's circles on an Apple Watch that shows you if you did enough exercise, if you did enough movement, and did enough standing. So that's an example. So we want to get the ball rolling. The minute you listen to this, time to get moving physically, get moving mentally, and then this Friday, get on to buffinicompany.com, go in there, download the resources, get the ball rolling, and let's get 5 Circle Fit. Here's my goal for everybody. I'm going to conclude here. I did a podcast with Dr. Lawrence Yun entitled This Too Shall Pass. We know it's going to pass. We know other parts of the world that have already opened up. We know other countries like Austria that are already getting ready to open up. They're going to open up different states bit by bit here. in America, it'll be a mixed bag. The whole thing's going to be a mixed bag. No one's ever been through something like this before. There needs to be an awful lot of grace. There is no pandemic playbook. There just isn't. Everything these folks are doing, they're doing for the first time. So here's what I'm going to say. We can't control the rollouts and what happens. We can't control what consumers do. We can't control the world. But here's what we can do. We can control ourselves. We can control our attitude. We can control our energy. And we can control our activities. My hope and prayer for all of you is that to come out of this better than you went into it. To come out of this, that your life has been on pause for a while. And now here it is. I'm ready to start getting going again. It's time to be 5-circle fit, spiritually, in your family and relationships, in your business and career, in your finances, and then personally, the body, the mind, and the heart. Time to get going. And so the goal is to get 5-circle fit. My goal for all of you is that week by week, we're going to help each other. Just by doing this program for all of you, it's a form of accountability for me. I hope you guys connect on Facebook and form little groups and interact with one another. Help each other become accountable and become 5-circle fit. Go download the resources, go get the training, let's go together and let's get the ball rolling. So let me leave you with the 5-circle fit Irish blessing. And if you listen to this and you really think about it, you'll see that this Irish blessing actually blesses all 5 circles in a person's life. So may the road rise up to meet you, NASCAR fans. May the wind always be at your back. May the rain fall soft upon your fields. That's your work life. And the sunshine warm upon your face, body, mind, and soul. And until we meet again in the great spiritual circle, I hope you know that God has us all in the hollow of his hand. We'll see you next time.